Alright, right now I have the little tiny screw gun charging. But first things first, I need to get the spring hooks and the ground reattached to the Space Scape guitar. As you can see, I already opened up some of the stuff. I cleared out the excess strings because we're going to be replacing them. Little nifty trick: if you take your thickest string, which on a guitar should be the E unless you have like an extended range guitar, and push down into the holes on one of these, the tremolo bridge, vibrato, tremolo, whatever, the whammy bar bridge, you'll be able to get the eyelets out if they get stuck. Usually the heavier gauge strings, you can just push them through and they'll come through. The lighter gauge strings, because they're so flimsy, it's just a little trick. You could use a toothpick or anything like that. Anything that's designed to fit, that size hole will work. And of course, we have a handy helper cat here. So while that's charging up, I'm just gonna put these bad boys back in the holes they came out of. Pretty straightforward here. Trying to not move the guitar despite the fact that it is protected by the cloth. I just don't want to take any chances, the lacquer and stuff like that. It's had a few days to cure, so I'm absolutely certain it's all cured out. It's not sticky at all. And in we go. As always, when you're reapplying hardware, nothing's really ever going to fit perfectly. It's just a matter of getting it to where it needs to be. Okay, our hole here, this is the hole where the wires go through, so we kind of need that a little clear. Let's go there with these. This is the next piece that goes in. And 5 fit nice and easy. Alright, buddy, you need to stop sniffing everything. So those fit nice and easy. So I'm pretty sure we're going back the right way here. Pretty sure. No, we're going back the right way. That's alright, because I also can't count, so because there's 6 holes, not 5. One of the main things that we have to keep an eye on with taking guitars apart and putting them back together is that the acrylic may not be exactly the same size as it was when we took it off. That's because it will shrink over time. This is something that happens. There's no way around those types of things. The only way to stop that would be to, of course, put it back onto the guitar, but that's impossible while it's trying to cure. So we kind of have to take our chances and try to do it as fast as possible from when we pull off to when we get everything put back together again. I suppose maybe someday in the future I'll have enough financial wherewithal to have an extra body blank to screw everything down to make sure that everything stays exactly the same way it was when it came off, but today is not that day. Feel free to financially support me and I will make sure to make that happen. Here I am, screwing everything by hand for your viewing pleasure. To be completely fair, most of this will probably be off of the video. Okay, so with these bad boys, you get these screws down nice and tight so that we don't come up and off. And then I'm gonna flip over again.
I need to polish that down when
What?
it gets the back.
What do you mean?
Oh, just polish. Give it a go over with the cloth.
With the cloth?
Wax. Over
Okay, I don't know if you were here for the first video. Make sure these are all nice and clear. Screws inside, okay. This is really the most difficult part of this, is getting these in place, because it's really a big pain in the ass. There we go. Middle, nice and easy, and one. There. No problem. Or maybe a little problem. There we go. And then trying to make sure everything stays nice and even. Tension on the string, we're good. Doesn't need to be all the way back. I don't think it was all the way in to begin with. Okay, so bridge and some. First things first, electronics. We have our black wire, which goes straight through. And our other two, which go through this hole over here. Through here. Alright, enough out of your stuff. Alright, those two are through. This one goes down here. And where is? It's gotta come up. So I gotta get this wire where it needs to be. Can you give me a small hand, just right here? Hold this, just like this. There's, of course, there we go. It's getting caught on the. Alright, you let it go. on the spring, trying to get a couple things. Okay, so we have our plate, we have our positive, our negative, and on here we have it marked. Let me get into the light where I can actually see. Positive, negative, positive, negative.
Ta-da.
Point of marking things, right?
Just
Before we start screwing any of this in,
solder.
we're going to fire up the soldering iron and get it on, and then we will check the pickups. Okay, so we're back on this. Soldering iron has had time to warm up. It's nice and hot and ready. I follow the age-old guidelines of just always calling red positive and black negative. So there's still some old solder on there, so we're gonna have it this way, so we want to be like this. Of course, I wish I had 3 hands to make it so that this is a little easier, but such is not the case. Now I'm just trying to tack it so that I can
Go in with some.
go in with fresh. Always the ever-present thread. God damn it. Set this up with it, and then we'll just get ourselves attached. I am not known for my pretty solder jobs. Just want to put that out there right now. They're not pretty, but they work. People who are better than me make nice, pretty solder jobs. Me, I just make ones that work, and well, hope that no one ever looks at them. Maybe we'll do this. Of course it won't work that way. That would be just too perfect for it to...
Use the tape to hold it in place. Ta-da!
Maybe. It stings still. At least there's that. Now, before I go shut everything off, I'm going to check to make sure that the plug actually does what it's supposed to do. Let's pull this bad boy off and put her in. I have a little practice amp, and what we're going to do here is I'm going to plug it in, turn her on, and see.
Are the knobs turned up?
Oh, duh. Yeah, now there's no ground, so you're going to get that buzz. We work.
Yep.
Switch works and power works. And let's kill this bad boy. Alright, so, hooray!
Woohoo!
Our juice works. That annoying buzz will go away once we hook up the
Strings and everything.
no,
Oh.
the ground on the other side.
Oh yeah.
Alright, this is this. Where is, there they are. Alright. We're gonna have to hope this has enough juice now. Sorry about the any flashing.
I shall look away while you do this. Let me have at the back before you put the panel on.
Nice and easy. We don't need to batten it down like crazy because it's not like it's really going to go anywhere. Let's start with something that's dead on a hole. And dead on a hole. Now, the reason why I do it this way is because the more things that are closer to where they're supposed to be the easier it is to get the rest of the plate where it's supposed to be. Donna does a really lovely job getting art everywhere, so even if the plate is a little out of place, it's not a big deal. Because it's not like, oh, we weren't planning on it being this far, so we didn't do art that far. Doing art everywhere means it's always either going to have art or the cover, the pick guard. But the challenge then becomes making sure that our holes are not just off from each other so that the screw doesn't hold on to anything. But it looks like we had some minimal stretching because we weren't really off of this for all that long. And we'll get that last solder point done, and then she'll be ready for restringing, reintonation, and yeah, buddy. And job's a good one, and homeboy can come and pick up his baby. And 2 more screws, and we are all golden. Assembly before buffing and stringy goes, is soldering this bad boy on here. Ground is very important, as you heard from the massive amounts of sound that we were getting with plugging it in. The ground really solves that issue.
Ah!
Really, buddy?
Wow.
And doing this with cats, even more fun. Let me tell you.
Especially.
Let's work smarter, not harder, right? Come over here. Go just like this. Actually, you can go all the way over to that side, and that would just be peachy. Because then I am completely out of the way of the springs. Ambidexterity go. It's probably the prettiest soldering job you're ever going to see me do. Ever in the history of ever. I'm sure I'll get better at it eventually, but yeah. There you go. Look at that nice, beautiful bead. A minute of truth. We play. So there you go. Alright, so now next up is nice, 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 nice. All three pickups work. Yeah. Tone knobs change things.